and I feel so good, good, good. There's no compromise, can't stop me from rise, way up in the skies. Hey, hey. So everybody, better way, never had a better day, a better day, better way. Jaja took my stress away, better way, never had a better day.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right. Good morning. And yes, the name of this rhythm is actually Rising Sun. All right. So we are rising with you. I'm not sure how many persons feel fully awake and alive at this time, but yeah, I know that it's a struggle. Monday morning is always a struggle for folks, right? Whether or not you did anything on the weekend, it's always a struggle, right? But just hoping that everybody had a great weekend, and we are happy to have you in our company yet for another Monday morning and yet for another week here on Activated Mornings with Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza Samuel. All right, so it's off to work and off to school and off to some happy places. All right, put that smile on your face. It's a happy place. All right, or you can make it a happy place. All right, so this is us. Good morning, Dianna.
Yes, morning, Roleza. Listen, I am tired like dog.
I can hear it in your voice.
I woke up this morning, I was disoriented. You see, I messaged you. Oh Lord, I didn't realize the time.
I thought your thing didn't I know that daylight savings went back, so I thought your time.
Oh,
I thought your device didn't
no.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know what went on this morning. I woke up after 6 and I don't know. Clearly, I am so tired that I was not aware that it was after 6 that I saw. In my mind, I think I saw after 5. So I was like, okay, let me hustle and get ready so that I could get ready with Roleza because I am so tired and I don't think I could make that walk this morning. If you see me, I hustle. Hey, me, I'm not messaging she yet. I go message you when I'm almost done. Send you that message, right? And then I walk, I stand up by the road there and I stand up there waiting. And you message me and I respond and still this thing in register saying, oh, she see it late, but I nothing because I done the by the road already.
No, but the messaging comes through until minutes to
No, that
7.
is what I said. That's why I said I did not realize that. In my mind, and I stood there and then I stand up by the road waiting and then I check my phone and I see 7:02. I was like, wait, because my phone is ahead. I put my time a little bit ahead. I was like, 7:02? Wait a minute.
Yeah, so everybody, Dianna's internal clock is an hour behind right about now, all right? That's what is happening. She's an hour behind. But what is the reason for you being so tired, and Dianna? You must have had a great weekend.
I had an exciting weekend, but it's not that. It's just that I've been going, and I have not gotten any rest. I don't think the past couple of days, if I count up the amount of sleep I got, it would even come up to 20 hours. So I really need to catch up on some sleep. Because I come here in the morning and then I have things on the evening. But over the weekend, SVG AMP had a session on Saturday. I went to that session. It was a really good session. We'll talk about that just now. Of course, I was at Cannabis last night.
I mean,
I was at Cannabis last night. I was singing backup for a dear friend. I was so happy to do that. And it was, the festival wasn't too bad at all. It wasn't too bad at all.
All right. Well, you could probably go ahead and say just a bit on it. Doc is coming in for 8, but I know that he would go into more details.
Last night, man, he looked like he was having fun. I felt some of the people there. I mean, I felt the vibe as though they went there expecting something else. I don't know. The vibe was a bit different, but a lot of persons were enjoying themselves. I enjoy myself. I mean, once I leave my high bed and put on my clothes and go out my house, I make sure that I enjoy myself because I ain't putting on my clothes and go out my house for nothing. So I could say that I did have fun. I met a couple of my friends. I enjoyed the performances. Amazing. I enjoyed the performances. What else was there to talk about? I had some good food out there. I don't know who the people are, but I bought some jerk meat and festival, and I enjoyed that festival. A Jamaican who was there with me said it's not so festival supposed to taste, it's supposed to be soft, but I liked how they did that. It was a bit crunchy,
right.
and I loved that. Yeah, so big up them people with that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Dianna had a good time. Happy to hear that she was out of the house. Because I know most times when I ask Dianna, what you do on the weekend? Dianna is
Inside.
So happy to hear that she was out. I didn't leave home, but I did have a very productive weekend. The weekend went slowly in a sense, which means that it was a good weekend for me because I got through to do all the things that I needed to do. So I was quite happy with how my weekend went, right? And I am well rested, so I would push and go along for both of us this morning. All right. So yes, that was the weekend. I did note that there were a lot of it seems like so good morning to the persons on the live and Joshua and Lavon. Good morning to you guys.
Leave me alone.
Right. I am happy to see that our tradition of lighting up of the cemetery has continued. All right. I noticed that many persons, well, both on my WhatsApp feed as well as social media posts, that there are many persons who did participate and who did attend. I didn't pass across any cemeteries in the night because, as I said, I didn't leave home. But I was happy to see that persons are still doing that remembrance of their persons who have passed. I'm quite sure that if I happen to pass a cemetery this morning, that I'm going to see it looking colorful, right? Because many of the graves will be decorated with fresh flowers, so I'm happy to see that tradition is being continued. And I know it's also, again, as a sad day for many persons, or a sad time of the year, because then it's a literal remembrance of the dead, right? And that you're remembering that these persons are no longer with you. But I'm happy to see that the tradition did continue.
Yes. Hi, I see Joshua saying hi. Good morning, Mrs. Richardson. How are you this morning after having to deal with Joshua for the entire weekend? I hope you're doing great. Roleza, yes, I have to say that I am also happy that this tradition is continuing. I passed this cemetery. When was it? Was it Saturday night? Probably. Yeah, Saturday night. And there was a lot of people. I was so pleased to see a lot of Lomans.
Oh, okay.
Lomans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and then I saw a post about the Kingston Cemetery. So I was pleased to see a lot of persons coming out. I mean, people take this time to sell a little food, sell a little drinks, and just it's just good to see the things that we do within our culture.
Was there amplified music though?
I can't remember if I heard any.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing I was wondering if there was amplified music being played at some of these cemeteries, because you tend to call it like a blocko in the cemetery, right? Who's saying that? Professor, I think. Mass in the hospital, blocko in the cemetery. So I don't know if that still continues in terms of the amplified music being played. But yeah, I'm happy for it. I'm always happy to see that some of our traditions are I'm happy to see that many of our traditions are being continued, because it's the passing on to younger folks, right?
Yeah.
And I know that many times we think that our cultural events or cultural activities or cultural traditions are slowly being eroded because of the fact that children do not want to participate, or children are so taken up with other things like devices, etc. But many times, for these little things in particular, it's for parents to pass it on.
Yeah.
You have to walk with your children to the cemetery so that they can see what is happening, and actually participating in it would help with the continuation of the traditions. The same like I was speaking about with the bamboo. Now, I know the blowing of the bamboo is it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I am always happy when I hear it each year, because I know that the tradition is being continued.
One thing about that though, I don't think that I heard it as much as we would usually hear it. That bamboo blowing, I really didn't hear it as much.
Okay, up to last night in Clare
Normally,
Valley.
well, it was good for them in Clare Valley that you could hear it there. It's, showing that they're still keeping up with that day. But generally, you know what? Normally, you would pass through different areas and hear it, but I didn't hear that. Even on the night of the event, the ceremony. What's that? What's it?
All
Not
Saints?
ceremony. Yes. Even on the night, I didn't hear a lot of bamboo.
No.
Normally, I guess people focusing on other things more now.
Yeah, well, cleverly keeping up the tradition. So I'm happy that the folks down there are still doing it. All right, so moving on, the announcement, and this crossed my mind last week, and I was wondering what became of it. So I'm happy to see that the results are out. So on November 1st, last Friday, there was an announcement of the winners in the Best Village competitions. All right, so Barrouallie actually took the top spot. Barrouallie won the Best Village competition, followed by Point in second place and Trumaka in third place. Right? Let me make a comment afterwards. And Best Flower Garden went to Olivia De Silva of Cain End and Sandy Lane Garden in Fountain. All right, so they are the winners. Now, the comment that I was going to make is I noticed Point winning, placing second, and the Best Flower Garden is Olivia De Silva of Cain End. And if I'm not mistaken, well, I'm not mistaken in terms of Point being one of the winners every Christmas, almost Christmas, for Best Lit Community. And I think Olivia De Silva as well of Cain End normally or participates in the home lighting, the residential lighting. I can't remember what the name of the category is. So I'm happy to see that there are these persons or these villages that are not only participating at Christmas time, but they're also participating during the Best Village competition. I don't know what in terms of, okay, so they actually said that 7 communities took part in the Best Village competition. I don't know. I know that when I was growing up that it was a big thing, right? It was a big thing within communities. And again, I am not sure if this is one of those things that has fallen off, maybe because on one hand, it's because it had stopped for several years, right? So persons may not be as enthusiastic about doing it anymore, but it also lends me to a question, is community involvement as great or as significant for these type of initiatives and activities, right? I know that they're trying to bring it back in terms of that community-based involvement in getting communities to actually put the effort into making their communities pretty, right? Because I know before in the past, like you would see places painted up in blue, yellow, and green, or blue, yellow, and gold, whichever color we want to use there. And but it was interesting because past driving around this year, I did not see a lot of it happening, right? So is it a case where there needs to be a revival of maybe just that activity or a revival of community-based initiatives that would sort of make it a lot easier for whenever there are events such as these happening?
Probably the second part, I think. I want to say congratulations to Barrouallie. Barrouallie, big up yourself. I didn't see any pictures, so I have no idea, except for that one picture my friend from Barrouallie posted one time, but I don't think that was with the full decorations. It would be nice to be able to see some of these, because I ain't seen not one picture from a single one of these villages. But congratulations to Barrouallie. Back up yourself this morning, you lad.
Yeah, and I think Dianna is making a good point there, where it would be good to see for the communities that won what exactly they did, so that we could, just for us, we can't judge and criticize because the winners have already been announced, right? But just for us to get an idea of what it is that happened, so that even whether it's just locals, persons here within Vinci, or those in the diaspora could see what it is that was done within the communities. And on many occasions, persons from overseas actually wish to contribute to community development. So, it might be a case of let's send in some potted, some flower pots, maybe send in some streamers, whatever it is that persons can use to help with the decorating process. It would also be a good initiative. So this is another way of getting the diaspora's involvement in things that are community related, so that is also something that we could probably throw out and explore a bit more for next year. And I think the registration maybe, or even the announcement of it should start earlier.
Yeah.
So that persons could actually get things going, because it does take time for plants to grow, right? Unless you're going to uproot a plant and pray that the plant actually survives, right? But it does take time for things to a beautified area to look really nice, right? So maybe sometimes if we know that communities know that it's definitely happening that year, that they can plan ahead. And of course, as I said, to get the diaspora's involvement.
Yeah. And I think it would be good for them to form community groups. I know some communities already have their groups, and I guess these are the ones that you would see in these competitions. But it's probably needs a little bit more community groups, so that when you have things like these, more villages would participate. Because you could see a lot of villages didn't participate just by passing through them, and you're not seeing anything. So I think if they have a little bit more community groups, they could have somebody who would pull people together and say, hey, let's do this. And as you said, have that platform so the diaspora can see and make contributions, because money is a big part of putting off anything.
True. Especially when it's a community involvement, because not everybody pulls their weight the same way in some of these community groups, right? Some have it more than others, which is understandable, but some persons may not be able to plug out that extra. They could only probably just give manual labor and not provide material, etc. So yeah, food for thought. But let's see what happens with next year, as the competition has been reinstated. And let's hope that by next year, we're going to see a lot more community involvement in it, right? Because, one of the things too is that cruise ship season, and they say tourist season. Somebody pulled me up years ago for saying tourist season. Cruise ship season, no, it's tourist boat. I said tourist boat, right? Cruise ship season is upon us. And, many of the buses, they will pass through villages. And the starting of the cruise ship season is in November. I think the first call would be on Wednesday. I think it's the 6th. I think it's on Wednesday, So as they travel through the villages, it'd be good to see that whole patriotic theme as they go from village to village, on their road trip, So yeah, maybe we could just get going a little bit more, put a little bit more effort into it. And it's not just for the tourists, but it's also for us as well. Okay. All right. So the time here.
No, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the time is 7:33, and at 7:35, we bring to you today's traffic talk. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Activated Mornings this morning with Dianna, Cain, and Roleza Samuel.